Yay!
Woo!
Here we go, Fhionna. The one we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
The big sheriff race in the
Yeah.
county.
Exactly. I'm excited for this. Both of these individuals are absolutely amazing at what they do. And so I'm excited to learn more from them and with them.
Yep. This is going to be a fun one. Let's bring on Travis Dinwiddie, the
Hey, how are you guys?
and Freeland Wood. Thank you, Travis. Doing well. And we're so happy that you guys both have taken the time to be with me and Fhionna. Thank you.
Yes.
So we're going to get right into it if you would like. Each of you are going to give opening comments, please, somewhere between 1 minute and 2 minutes. And we'd love to hear your introductions. We will start with the way that this is going to work is we'll start with the office holder. Now, you're the under sheriff, Travis. I know you're running for sheriff, but you're the office holder considered in this race. And then we'll go to you, Freeland, here in the opening comments. Then as we go through the questions, when we get to the end, we'll reverse that for the closing statements. And Freeland, you'll go first, and Travis will go second. So here we go. We shall hear opening comments first from Travis Dinwiddie, and this is for the sheriff department, the sheriff office.
Yes, all things sheriff.
Hey, thanks for having me. My name's Travis Dinwiddie. I've been with I started my career in law enforcement about 21 years ago. I've worked in multiple facets of law enforcement, from corrections to tribal, municipal, county, where I'm currently at the county. I've been with them a little over 9 years, working on 10. I love it at the sheriff's office. I love what I do. I started at the sheriff's office. I was just in patrol. Worked my way up, through patrol to lieutenant. I started on evening shift as lieutenant, and I was there for a while. Then had the opportunity to move to day shift as the lieutenant. Loved it. Then the opportunity come up. The sheriff asked me to step up and be his under sheriff. I was more than happy to do so. I've currently been in that position for a little over 2 years. I love every minute of it. It's very, very time consuming. Keeps me very busy, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. We've got a great staff that works at the office. My experience ranges, I've got experience in investigations, homicides, burglaries, domestics, yeah, you name it. I've done it at the sheriff's office. I also have experience with the budgeting. Been helping with that for the last couple years, grant writing. I take care of all our vehicle stuff, the maintenance and upkeep and purchasing. So I'm pretty well-rounded and everything to do on that side of the county government as well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Travis Dinwiddie. And something I didn't say, and I should have said, is when you get close to the time limit, what I'll do is I'll drop us back into this format, come off of your single screen. And that lets you know that, hey, time's running out. You've got about 15 seconds to close it down.
Sounds good.
As we move forward, Freeland Wood, it's time for your opening comments.
All right. Thank you, Danny, for having us here, or having me here today, and both of us. I was officer at Shawnee Police Department for a little over 36 years. I retired March 31st on Easter Sunday and my grandbaby's birthday. I couldn't pick a better time to retire. I started in, like I said, 1987, where I was patrol officer, and basically did everything a patrol officer does. Works the street, works cases and does reports and all that fun stuff that a law enforcement officer does. In 1992, I assumed the role of the community police officer for the Shawnee Housing Authority, where I did community policing with the young kids in the neighborhoods and built a relationship with the police department and the neighborhoods in that area, and which was very successful in that 2 years. In 1994, I was asked by the superintendent of Shawnee High School to come work with their kids at the high school, where I took on the role as their school resource officer. And I had the opportunity, was blessed with the opportunity to do that for 16 years, pretty much almost 17 years. And then I decided it was time to start promoting, because I had other goals that I wanted to accomplish. And so I tested for a sergeant, which was a test that you took, and then you had to go in front of a board of peers or people from other departments, and they basically ranked you in your position, and I was promoted to sergeant. I went back to the street and was a sergeant for several years, or 4 or 5 years, and then I got promoted to lieutenant through the same process, where I had the opportunity to work with these young guys as their lieutenant. And I did that for 4 years, and I went to the North Rock Creek, where I finished my career.
So both of you have a lot of experience in law enforcement. It sounds like you're both 20 plus years, and you've done a lot of different things within the job description. So my question for you guys, and it's going to be the same. And so first to you, Travis, list for us accomplishments that you feel best separates you from your opponent and qualifies you to lead our county sheriff's department.
Well, I feel very accomplished at the sheriff's office. I've been involved in county government for, the last 9 going on 10 years. County government is a complete and total different animal than any other type of state government or city government. There's so much involved in county government that is just totally different. Everything we do is based off of statutes. We have to follow those statutes to the letter. And I just, I've got the experience in doing that over the last 9 going on 10 years of the operations of the county government.
Whoops. Thank you very much. I was laughing because I hit the wrong button, of course. That sounds good. Yes. And so, Freeland, same question to you. List for us the accomplishments that you feel best separates you from your opponent and qualifies you to lead our county sheriff's department. And this is candidate Freeland Wood.
Okay. As far as accomplishments, I've been at the police department 36 years. And just like Travis, I have to deal with statutes. I have city statutes, and I have to also follow state statute, just like he does. So I've done that for 36 years. And also, I did a lot of things as far as when I became a lieutenant and a sergeant. We did other things like, as far as accomplishments, just leading these young men. I mean, I dealt with 15, they dealt with 30, but I had 15 officers that I was responsible for. And not only did I was out there with them working on the street, leading them, and also being responsible for them on a shift that you can't just call somebody. Very rarely did I call my chief, maybe once in my career at night, asking a question. You just had to deal with those things as they came, and was able to successfully do that for 9 years while I was on the street as a supervisor. So I feel like I'm a very accomplished in that part of it. I won't get into awards and things I've done like that. And to me, it's bragging. And I'm not that type of person, but I do feel like I am accomplished, and I'm able to do that job. And I know one thing: there's several officers right now that's accomplished, that has actually been law enforcement or city municipal officers. Like a great one is Tommy Johnson III, Norman police officer before he got elected to the sheriff's department. Cleveland County Sheriff Chris Amison also was a city municipal officer in Norman for 25 years. And then there was also Sheriff Randy Simmons, and he was another one that was a Muskogee police officer for 24 years. So I feel like just because I've not been a county deputy, I feel like I can do the job, and there is a learning curve, I know. But they send you to a school, and you also have these connections that I can call. So I feel like I can do the job.
Okay. Thank you both very much, and great answers. Now we transition into the asking your opponent a question. And as I stated earlier with you both, Travis, you have a question for Freeland. Freeland, you don't have a question for Travis. And so we're going to go with Travis. Please ask Freeland your submitted question.
My question for Freeland is, if elected as sheriff, do you plan on just being a one-term sheriff, or do you plan on making a career out of this?
That's a great question, Travis, and I plan on doing more than one term. That's my plan. I mean, I've not sat there and told anybody that I was only going to do one term. I love this job. I've had the opportunity to do this job 36 years. It's my childhood dream. Well, since I was a little kid, as far as I can remember. And so I'm not ready to give it up. I know people keep saying, well, it's a retirement gig. This isn't my retirement gig. This is my opportunity to lead these guys. I don't consider myself a boss. I consider myself a leader. And this is going to be the opportunity to do the things that I've learned through my career of 36 years through all 7 of my chiefs. And so I look forward to doing it. And yes, no, to answer your question, I do plan on doing it for more than 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that. In other forums, we haven't, the question asker doesn't necessarily get the opportunity to answer their own question. But in this format, and there's only 2 of you,
Right.
Would you like to answer your own question, Travis?
Sure.
Go ahead.
For me, this is my career as of now. And, you know, it's something that I've always been passionate about. And if elected, I intend to stay in as sheriff as long as the people of the county and the employees would want to keep me around. This is, for me, this has been my life for the last 9 going on 10 years. I live, sleep, and breathe it every day. And I continue to do that to, you know, take care of the deputies that we have at the office and continue to take care and protect the citizens of the county.
Thank you very much. And now, Fhionna.
My turn. So I am going to ask this question to both of you. As a young voter, I have mentioned this before, but as a young voter, I want to encourage other young voters to ask these hard-hitting questions, or ask the questions that may seem like they have an obvious answer, but still to just be confident enough to ask them. So I will ask you both, running for sheriff, it's a huge deal. And as a young adult who potentially will raise children here, what's top of mind for me for voting, you guys both working in law enforcement for as long as you have, or working under the sheriff, there's a big area of improvement I see, and I do see it to be the drug abuse. So whenever you guys are in office, I would love for you guys to touch on what you guys would do to try and implement either more safety around that, or to address the problem, or how will you handle that whenever you step into office?
And we will start, who went first last time?
Travis.
So we're going to start with you, Freeland. You're going to answer this question first.
Okay. First of all, it's tough times. I mean, it's sad that we have this many people out there that it's addicted to this drug, all drugs. But, you know, one we're dealing with now is a fentanyl and meth. And I believe the thing that I'm going to do, first of all, I know a lot of it's attributed to mental health too. And right after I retired, I went to a CIT school, and basically dealt with those issues. And you work along with a counselor, and you get out there and you try to work with these young people, and they're doing it right now in Shawnee, and they're trying to help these people get help and help them get off drugs. And it's a challenge because because they got to want to. And so if you can help them by getting out there and working with them, and as far as in the county, it's so vast. And I know I've gotten calls from people living out in the southern part of the county that don't feel like they're getting any help. And I feel like that we need to get out there and help them and get out there and patrol. And I know the sheriff's department, and I mean, I'm not naive to think that you have 30 plus guys, and then you have so many that can cover the streets. I mean, we had 75 or 4 at Shawnee, and we had, and it was hard for us to keep up. So I'm not knocking the sheriff's department. I know they do a great job and they do their best, but it's just trying to get people out there and working and working along with these people, because these people know where the problems are. They've told me those issues already. And so I think doing that, trying to get the officers out in those areas, and I mean, so and working along with the tribes, which I know they try to do now, they do now, but and the other city departments. That's my plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeland.
And Travis Dinwiddie.
Well, as everybody, I'm sure, well knows, it starts with a good legal system, which has been failing for years here in Oklahoma. But now we're in Pottawatomi County, we're on track. We've got a great DA in office, and it starts with prosecuting the bad guys over drugs, getting them in jail, keeping them in jail where they need to be, getting them the help where they need the help through the drug court and things like that. And we've already, started that process now that we've got our, our DA in office that's really taken charge with all of that. We have got a deputy that is currently assigned with the DA's drug task force. He works out of our office, but he works with them hand in hand. All of our cases that come in, our big drug cases, he takes those and runs with those with the task force. And that's something, if elected in, that I would like to concentrate more heavily on, because drugs are just rampant right now, and drugs and property crimes kind of go hand in hand. So I would like to be able to, create a task force for the sheriff's office that particularly works on things involving property crimes and drug crimes, because 99% of the time they're always tied together, and it's definitely a problem. And, the battles we always face is, of course, money and resources. It takes more people to put on the streets, and to have more people, you've got to have more money in your budgeting. And, that's something that we're just going to have to continue to work on over time as we go. And hopefully we'll turn out and continue to be successful.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I do want to say thank you for taking the time to touch on that sensitive subject that I'm sure you guys get asked a lot about. So I appreciate that for the clarification.
Couple more questions. I'm going to go ahead and go off script a little bit and ask you a couple of more questions, because Travis, you'll be first on this one. But the task force that you mentioned, the district attorneys, when you say district attorneys task force, that, as I understand it, I was introduced to them through a video that we produced maybe 15 years ago for the Shawnee PD. And I met one of those guys just the other day, and what he was talking about was very, very intriguing to me. Can you describe, and would you describe the what a DA's task force that you mentioned actually is, and how you guys work together? And then Freeland, I'm gonna then go to you and give you the opportunity because you're not in the sheriff's department. Tell me what the differences are and what might happen over at the police department. So Travis, if you would.
Sure. The district attorney's task force, of course, he has his assigned investigators that work for the district attorney, and his chief investigator. And so, of course, they're always faced with budgeting issues and things as well. So what they do is they reach out to try and get assistance from other local agencies that they can cross commission to help them work with all their cases. They work, drug crimes and violent crimes. They are what you would call an assisting agency, so to speak. They initiate and work their own cases, their own drug cases and things like that. But anytime that you need help and manpower or whatever, you can always reach out to them. They have some excellent investigators that are assigned over at the DA's task force. They're always willing to help with anything that we need. And also sometimes, you may run across some sensitive issues that need to be taken care of that maybe your agency needs to distance itself from, and they're always willing to step in and take those situations and run with them and handle those for you to make sure that there's no conflict of interest.
Okay, so it's a whole, when you say the DA task force, it's almost like a whole different department. It's not the sheriff's department, or it's not the city police department.
Correct. They work for the district attorney. It's his office and his investigators.
Okay. So Freeland, for you from a city perspective, let us know if any of that is different or how that works for your experience.
He pretty much covered it. Shawnee, we have our investigators that are dealing with narcotics, and they work with the DA task force. Years ago, we had 3 assigned to the DA task force, and now we have I've been out for a few months, but I don't know if it's changed. But we got our investigators, and they work with the DA task force in fighting not only here, but they also a lot of times have to help in the county. And we had 2 of our guys that went to OBN, so we got those contacts with Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics that were willing to come in and help us. And I'm going to use those guys as far as accessing them, because they're a great group of guys to have on board because of all the issues that we're dealing with right now, especially out in the county.
Okay. So now my second follow-up on that is, Freeland, you mentioned being with the kids in the neighborhood long ago, and then through the high schools and your experience there. And Travis, I firsthand saw you with the kids not long ago, and how your rapport is with the kids. I, for one, think if we're going to solve the drug problem, it's a generational problem. It's not the problem we solve with the 14 and up. It's actually the problem we solve with the 1 through 8. And then we continue with them in order to annihilate the problem. I'm interested in what type of programs you're a part of now, or that you plan to be a part of in helping the drug problem before they start using drugs. And I will start that question with Freeland Wood.
Right now, I'm not even trying to put the cart before the horse, but we've talked, and my feelings on our youth. This is something that I've had the opportunity to work with these kids since I got into the school system in '94. And even in '92, when I was dealing with the kids out in the housing projects, and working with them. And I really believe that getting involved with these kids now and being a mentor to them, and when I was that mentor with those kids in '92, when they came to the Shawnee High School 10 years later, some of them, it made it so much easier to work with because they trusted me and they listened to me, and we had that bond. And I've already went to several schools in the county, and I've talked to the principals or the superintendents, and I plan on getting our guys and myself. I'm going to lead by example, and I know the sheriff is so busy. I know that's a busy job to have, but I think our kids are important, and I think it's taking that time, whether it's one school a day or getting out there and walking the schools and getting to know the teachers and getting to know, they know where the problems are. They know which kids, who these high risk kids are. and getting to know those kids and building that relationship. Because when you go to that domestic out in Juanette and you get to know these kids and their parents, they may listen to you before they do something stupid and get themselves in jail. And so that's what I want to continue to do, is get out there and get our guys involved in that. And I think by doing that myself, it'll make them want to go do that themselves. So thank you.
Okay. And Travis, how about you? Trying to help the younger generation.
I absolutely agree. We've got to do some things and figure out some ways to, get a jump on it while they're young. And that's where, the state has kind of helped out. This last year, they approved a 3-year grant providing money to all the rural school systems to be able to bring in, have the ability to contract through the sheriff's office to get an SRO to have out in the school. And we do have some of the schools that have got on board with that. Bethel Schools has actually been on board with that for several years. We have a full-time SRO that is assigned out at Bethel School. We've had some part-times out at Dell Schools. We just need to continue to work with the school systems and try and get the schools on board with bringing in and using some of that grant money that they've got to, get SROs in the school where we'll have that opportunity and time to be in those schools and, build a rapport with the children and the administration where we can all work together to try and, knock that down and keep the drugs at bay in the schools.
Thank you. And Travis, just for clarity, when we say SRO, I think that's officer in the school. Is that correct?
School resource officer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you. Great. And so now, thank you both. We've asked our questions and you've asked yours. And so we get to close. And so now our closing comments, and we reverse it. So we will start with Freeland Wood. Freeland, somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes, please. Closing comments, Freeland Wood.
Thank you again, Danny and Fhionna, for having me on here. This is an honor to be able to talk to the people out there, and I can't wait to get in that office. I know if I do get elected, which is January 18th or June 18th, please get out and vote. My door is going to be open. I mean, granted, I may not be there because I may be wandering around the county, driving around. But call me. My phone number is going to be available. And if not, I'll meet you out in Juanette or in Macomb or Asher or Maud, Bethel, Dale, McLeod. I mean, it's, I cannot wait to get in there. This is my dream to do this job. 36 years. I'm not ready to give it up yet. I did give it up, again, on my grandbaby's birthday, March 31st, Easter. I give it up. That was the day I wanted to retire so I could get on my next chapter of my life, which is to continue this, but as being a leader out there, and it'll be an honor if you vote me in and be your sheriff. And I tell you what, you're not going to find anybody that cares more about this county and the people in this county. And you're definitely not going to find anyone that's other than their parents that care more about our kids in this county. And so, like I said, if you June 18th, get out and vote. And, if you're not going to vote for me, at least just get out there and vote. I mean, make your voice heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Freeland. And now, Travis, closing comments, please. Travis Dinwiddie.
I'd just like to thank y'all again for having me. I would like to, thank everybody for the support that I've had through this and, through my time that I've been at the sheriff's office in my career. I've had the opportunity to work with many great, smart, intelligent people. I've learned a lot from a lot of people I work with. We've got a great crew at the office now. You know, we've a lot of intelligent deputies and investigators. And, you know, I'm proud for the job that they do, and I'm glad that we have them around and to have my back. You know, there's not another crew of people I would want to have my back. And I just want to continue, you know, the great things that and accomplishments that we've, you know, accomplished at the sheriff's office, and continue to move forward into the future and continue to progress not only with technologies, but with skills and training, and just keep making everybody better at their job so we can continue moving forward in momentum for taking care of the citizens of this county. And I would just appreciate for all the support I can get, and for everybody to make sure they get out and vote and voice their opinion on June 18th. Thank you.
And thank you guys so much. The work that you do is truly the Lord's work. You really have to have a genuine heart for the people, the community, and the work you all do, which you guys exude that for the work you have done in the past and the work that you currently do. And I just want to compliment you both. So, Freeland, I'm happy that you retired on your grandbaby's birthday. I think that that is an amazing milestone and something good that you should have done for your time and for God's timing in your life. If you felt that was necessary, I kudos you for that, and putting your family at the center of everything that you do. And so I congratulate you in that, and I congratulate you in your next great steps in your career, which I know no matter the outcome, you will continue to make such a great impact in whatever you do. And Travis, this is my first time speaking with you. What you've said about the task force and just your motivation and for what you do has definitely, you've educated me a lot on the sheriff's department just in the 2 conversations I've had with you. And so I appreciate you and your knowledge for what you do and wanting to continue your efforts and take that step up to the sheriff's seat. So I hope the best for both of you. You both are so encouraging in everything you do. So thank you for taking the time, especially midday Saturday afternoon. Surely you would have nothing else better to be doing than hanging out with us. But we do appreciate you so much for taking the time.
And I very often, you know, want to thank candidates for the courage that it takes, but I almost feel foolish saying that to you guys, how you have spent your life basically on the front lines. And, you know, as a man, as a father, as a grandfather, I really do appreciate, and you guys go underappreciated for the roles that you serve in our community and keeping my family safe.
Right.
And I want to thank you for that. So you guys are already courageous, but I know for many people, this is a step out of their comfort zone, and they don't step out and try to do what you're trying to do now. And so I thank you for that as well, a new form of courage in which you both are showing.
Yes.
Thank you. And as always, thanks for spending your time with us a little bit.
Yeah.
And Fiona's words, definitely from the heart from both of us. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Thanks again for having us.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
We appreciate you. And remember, Shawnee, all of us, together we build community, one season at a time. Let's get out and vote on June 18th.
Yes, June 18th. Yeah.
Tell everybody goodbye.
Bye.
We're going away.
See
See
you
you
guys.
later.